So, Tampon Tim Waltz and many others are melting down over President Trump announcing a 50% cut in jobs over at the Department of Education. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Tampon Tim Waltz and many others melting down over President Trump announcing 50% of the jobs in the Department of Education will be cut. Now, in real numbers, we're talking about 1,300 jobs, and another 600 had already accepted an early resignation or retired. This, in my humble opinion, is a great way to save some money. I have one question. Before I get into the videos and whatnot, I have one question. What is the benefit of the Department of Education, the federal DOE, not just state DOE, which is different, the federal Department of Education? What's the benefit? Somebody want to tell me? How will these jobs being cut affect regular everyday people? Anybody want to give me something? Now, before I go too far into it, let's get to a few videos. First, we got a street interview. I want to play this to give you an example of just how well our Department of Education has been doing over the past few years, educating our children. Then we're going to get into a few more clips and a few ideas from these people. And of course, all videos will be in the box. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
How many days make up a year?
How many days make up a year?
100.
100?
Wait, is it 100?
50.
What'd you say?
50.
What is the smallest four-digit number?
Small four-digit number?
Smallest four-digit number.
4?
What?
Wait, what is that?
Smallest four-digit number. What is the smallest four-digit number?
4? Wait, what?
0.
What continent are we living on right now?
What continent?
Continent? Wait, what is
Washington.
Washington.
What country is Hawaii in?
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Hawaii, right?
Yeah, Hawaii.
What is 9 times 9?
72.
72.
You see what I'm saying? Now, this is what the Department of Education is producing. They said we went to the moon back, in the 60s? Are we able to go back there with these individuals? Now, we got some really smart people in this country, don't get that confused. But we have a lot of kids who lack basic skills, kids who are in high school who can't read, kids who don't even know where they live. They don't know what's going on. They don't know anything. But yet I'm being told that the Department of Education is doing a good job. If they are, I can't tell. Now, we have a news clip here. This is from Good Morning America. I'll play this and see what they're talking about as far as this whole breaking news story.
We're going to turn now to the mass layoffs at the Department of Education. After the firings and earlier buyouts, the department has been slashed in half since President Trump took office. Senior political correspondent Rachel Scott has that story. Good morning, Rachel.
George, good morning to you. And these are sweeping and mass layoffs that are happening at the Department of Education, and what the Education Secretary is calling the first step toward dismantling the agency altogether.
Overnight, the Department of Education gutted. More than 1,300 workers told they're being laid off, now cutting the agency.
Hey, hold on, pause. I know I'm doing the waving and I'm smiling and I'm laughing. I'm not trying to gloat at someone losing their job because I don't know who these people are. They can be perfectly fine, nice people. What I am waving goodbye to is the government waste, fraud, and abuse. All these jobs that really shouldn't exist, okay? It's not that I want bad for these people, these human beings that have the job. I just don't want those jobs to exist. I want them to be able to still make a living for themselves and their family, but do something else rather than this, which is not helping Americans. It's just draining our taxpayer money.
See, roughly in half. Education Secretary Linda McMahon saying those cuts are just the first step.
What we did today was to take the first step of eliminating what I think is bureaucratic bloat.
The department is already the smallest of all cabinet-level agencies, but is responsible for everything from managing federal loans for colleges to enforcing civil rights laws in schools. The leader.
I mean, civil rights laws, what civil rights laws are being violated? And then as far as loans for school, you know what needs to happen? If we want to truly make a dent in student loan debt, and if we want to relieve a lot of people or save them from having this ridiculous amount of student loan debt. We need to get the federal government out of it. Ever since the government got involved, that has caused the prices of education to just skyrocket. That's what caused it, the government intervention. Why? Because whether the taxpayer pays or not, the government guarantees the money. And the way they get their money back, meaning the federal government, they go into your bank account, they withhold tax returns. They can extract money from you in the way that a regular private bill collector cannot. So it's a trade-off. Yes, you're able to get into a college that you may not have been able to get into before because they weren't going to approve the loan. But on the back end, if you don't pay it, well, you can mess around and lose everything that you own.
Leader of the nation's largest teachers union says students will pay the price.
There is no way that that's going to lead to faster service. Calls will go unlistened to. Emails will go unread. We know that.
McMahon asks what will happen to some of the department's critical programs, like Pell Grants and funding for students from low-income families.
You got enough employees to be able to take care of that.
We kept all of the right people and the good people to make sure that the outward-facing programs, the grants, the appropriations that come from Congress, all of that are being met, and none of that's going to fall through the cracks.
McMahon says the president has given her a mandate to strip down the agency and work with Congress to eliminate it. Democrats blasting the Trump administration's push to shrink the size of the federal government.
Throughout this administration, we're seeing cuts. Services will not be provided for, in this particular case, for our schools and the protections for our young people.
So sources say the president has floated the idea of moving some of the agency's work under the Department of Treasury. The president on the campaign trail repeatedly said he wanted to return the power back to the states. It is worth noting that the Department of Education does not decide what is taught in schools. That's already decided at a state and local level, Michael.
Okay, that's fine. But again, so if they're not involved with the education of children, and the main thing I'm hearing about is money that they can give out, Pell Grants and stuff like that. I mean, how many employees do we need to make that happen? I'm just trying to figure it out. All right, let's keep on going here. Now, this is Jasmine Crockett. I know I got to keep playing her, but I want you guys to hear her ingenious idea to keep these layoffs from happening. You ready? Let's check it out.
In my opinion, if we're shut down, you can't be fired. And what does that mean? It does mean that people will not be paid, but it does mean that they will get their back pay. So hopefully we can stop some of the bleeding. We just saw that the Department of Education laid off 50% of their workforce. So I don't really understand why anybody would say, oh, we got to take the high road. Listen, he is decimating the federal government. And you're talking about whether or not we're going to keep the doors open. He literally is shutting down departments anyway.
Okay, let's pause. So Jasmine Crockett, I ain't gonna do you crazy with the wild screen grab. But Jasmine Crockett, do you hear yourself? So you're willing to shut the government down because if you shut the government down, then people can't be fired. Now, if you shut the government down and life goes on as normal, the question is, why do we need you when you return? Why do we need you when you return? If life goes on as normal and everything's okay, that underlines the point about y'all not really being needed. So it doesn't make any sense. Why would you prove the point that is being made with these layoffs? You're not thinking very clearly, in my humble opinion, but let's keep going here. This is Randy Weingarten. She is the president of the American Federation of Teachers. I may have gotten that particular name wrong, but she's a big dog in the industry. And I read that she makes $560,000 a year. That's a pretty penny for, someone in education.
This is about opportunity. That is why so many people are so mad about it, because they're just taking opportunity away from kids that don't have it. So kids of billionaires, they have it. They go to private schools. Everyone else, 90%, go to public schools. Don't take away their opportunity.
So
what opportunity are you taking away? Because the other lady just said you're not involved in education. And the complaint was about Pell Grants and student loans. That's higher education. So K through 12, how is it going to affect these kids? I want to know that explanation.
Let's stay on the facts.
Sorry.
No,
I'm
do
really
not apologize.
angry about this.
No, because this
I'm
is what
really
people
angry.
need to hear.
I taught kids in Clara Barton High School in Brooklyn, New York. Virtually all of them got Title I funds. I taught AP Gov. One of the things that they just cut was the We the People competition, which was taught in ruby red districts like Van Wert, Ohio, and deep blue districts like my district. Why, if we need civics, would you cut the We the People competition? It's $11 million. Why would you do that?
Because they want the people to be ignorant. They want the people to not have a proper basis of education, and they want to make sure that the disadvantaged stay disadvantaged.
Okay, we got a Chinese spy again. Do we not learn from Fang Fang Yum Yum? Okay, maybe I'm being racist, but the money that is in the Department of Education is not going toward education, but the other lady said, now you're saying that it is. And will this help people to graduate and find gainful employment? Will it help them in their regular everyday life? Like, how is that truly going to help them proceed going forward in this world, in this country? I don't really know. All right. Now, here we got Tampon Tim. He's still out there. I think he's still the governor of Minnesota? I don't know what he is, but he's still talking. Let's hear from him, shall we?
These folks don't want to be involved in politics. They want to teach kids. They chose this profession because it's what they love. And now they've been thrown into the middle of this absolutely ridiculous fight. And it will go just as well as the tariffs have gone, just as well as the stock market's going, just as well as egg prices have gone. But this time it's our kids.
Talking point straight from television. That's all I hear right there. But let's keep going.
Look, let's just name it what it is. The president has no idea how education works. He has no idea how these work. He has no idea how any of this works. Reallocating them to what? These are professionals that understand. These are civil rights attorneys that understand and making sure we're getting it right. These are educational experts that research. When we talk about research, we're not reading Newsmax online. It's peer-reviewed studies to show what brain science looks like and how you get an impact. These people have no idea on this, that this is just a random dude who came in and said, cut money. And this is a place, it is a place where we spend money because it's our future. And they're just randomly cutting it.
Okay, so there we go. Tampon Tim, one thing he said as I close that I want to focus on is this whole, they're experts, believe whatever the experts say. Oh, the same way they said, wear a mask. If you're in a restaurant, take it off when you eat and they're 6 feet apart and the vaccine. Anyone can say they're an expert. Does that mean they're right? Hey, check it out. Tampon Tim, I'm an expert on tampon dispensers in bathrooms. I say they don't go in the boys' room. Now, listen to me. And I'm going to have people that would log on to the video, find a poll saying if I'm right or wrong about that, and 98.9% would agree with me. So I'm the expert now. Now, believe whatever I say. Is that how that works? Now, listen, as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to the Department of Education and the people who actually do things that directly help people in this country. But we know in this government, there's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse. When I was a kid living in Virginia, I remember watching the elections from like 8 years old. Yes, I was watching elections at 8 years old. And I would see us go from a red state to purple to solid blue. And the reason why that happened is because DC got so big and so bloated, all that government money started in Capitol Hill and emanated outward to the quote unquote DMV area. That's how that area got built up. It's going to be a big resistance from those people because they know that their job's on the line. And the only reason why they have their job is because government has gotten too bloated and it doesn't help the people. It just helps those who have those jobs. Simple as that. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about 50% of the jobs at the Department of Education being cut by the Trump administration? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I like it. I love it. I want more of it. This is fantastic. For many years now, I've been saying the government has gotten too big. I saw it as a child, not even really quite understanding, but I still saw it. And now as an adult, I really see it, how big and bloated and unnecessary it is. Okay, let's get it down to where it makes sense to serve the people, not just to serve those who have these uncritical jobs. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.